Good day today. Exciting because Zeeteah Massiah and Paul Caplin are with me today, and they've been working very hard on a huge project, and they finally got the go-ahead, and I've got the go-ahead to play a beautiful piece of music that I was privileged to hear about 2 weeks ago, and it's fantastic. So without further ado, Zeeteah and Paul, tell me about this music. Zeeteah, first, you composed it. A very special moment, didn't you?
Well, actually, it was Paul who wrote it, but it came about just after the murder of George Floyd, and it reminded me of a lot of things of growing up here in the UK as a black woman. So, a lot of those feelings came flooding back, and it was quite a tearful, emotional moment. And Paul was by my side. He was listening to me, what I was saying about my experiences, and he then in turn wrote this beautiful song, about the situation, about where we are. And yeah, I think I should hand you over to him, really. He could
Well,
explain it better.
Paul, so how does this work then? The words, I mean, they're very special. It is what I would call a very dignified, very, from the heart piece of music
Very
and
kind of you to say
words.
that. Certainly came from the heart, from Zeeteah's, I suppose, via mine in a way. We were talking about the George Floyd murder and all the BLM protests around the world and the huge upheaval at the moment. And Zeeteah was very, as you can imagine, very emotional about it. I think a lot of people were. And at one point she said, "You don't know. You don't know how it feels." And it just started something. If you're a songwriter, you're always thinking about songs, and it started something up in my head. And the song is called "You Don't Know," and it's my attempt to put into words what Zeeteah was feeling, I suppose. And of course, she sings it, and she says I got it right. So
Yes,
maybe I did.
very much.
Well, that's it. Well, you definitely have got it right. As soon as I heard it first, and then I was privileged to see the video that has really been a big labour of love for you both, and it's been quite a lot of hurdles to overcome. So, Zeeteah, first of all, let's just focus on the background first of all, because I noticed actually that you had written a blog. I looked at the blog, and I felt that you were definitely thinking of your childhood or growing up, and you said in that on the whole you were a happy person.
Yes, yes, I
So you,
was.
but you had come over from Barbados. How old were you? You came over with your sister and mother.
That's right, yes. I was about 5. So that was in 1961 we came over to London to join my dad. And yeah, I mean, I don't remember being 5 and being here. Obviously, it was such a long time ago. But I remember going to school as an 8-year-old with my sister, our first school, and not having a very good time, as you can imagine, because there weren't that many black people in London at that time. And we got, the name calling, which was quite hurtful. And I do remember saying to my sister, Wendy, why don't we call each other these words? Because then they don't mean anything. I don't know where that came from. I just thought, let's just call each other it, and it will soften the blow, if you like. And for someone so young to think about that, I mean, I think it was just very, very painful. I had to find a way to deal with it.
And children can be very cruel, can't they? I mean, I was one of the first, I think, to wear a brace on my teeth, and children used to point at me, and it was horrible. So I can imagine, only a little bit about how you might have felt.
Well, it's not only children, it was adults too. So, it was a double blow, really. I just think that my parents were so amazing to have gotten through that time the way we did, but we did. And I'm here to tell the tale.
You're here to tell the tale, and you're a fabulous singer, and you've had a very nice career, and you're sitting there with Paul, who obviously knows some of your pain. It's come out, hasn't it, in this piece of music? You don't
Yes.
know.
Yes, absolutely. He's just brilliant. I mean, we've known each other for quite a long time. We've been together, well, we've known each other for about 17 years, but we've actually been together for nearly 10. So, yeah, he does know me very well.
It's funny, you asked Carly, you asked how the song came about, and
Yes.
it actually came, although it's taken quite a while to record it and do the whole production and to make the video, it's been quite time consuming. The writing of the song happened very quickly. It was done in, I think, 2 or 3 days, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I mean, my experience, I've been writing songs for a long time, and my experience is that all the best ones kind of leap into your mind almost complete. You know, the good ones, it's almost like you're remembering it rather than writing it. It's almost like you're trying to remember something that you heard. And the more complete it is, usually the better a song it is. But I'm very happy that you enjoyed it so much and you found it so moving.
But I think because of at the time when our feelings were quite strong, you know, with what was going on with the demonstrations, like Paul said, and the murders. It's I think you just had it in you, didn't you? I mean, you just felt it. You couldn't help but feel it, and you wanted to say something about it.
And today is a big day because it's being launched today, isn't it? And I'm ahead of the game. Very much so, because it's tonight. It's actually being put on YouTube, isn't it? The video.
Yes, it is. At 6:30 p.m. tonight on YouTube. We're having the world premiere of You Don't Know. And if anybody would like to join us for that, it's free. It'll always be free of charge. We're not going to sell the music, this song commercially at all. But please come to youdon'tknow.video, not .com or anything. It's youdon'tknow.video, and you can join us at 6:30 this evening and see the video for the first time anywhere, and leave comments and chat with us online if you like.
Wow!
Even though we've had it for a few weeks, it's in my head constantly. It really is, and yeah.
Yeah, and when you're singing it on video, we can see the emotion. It's there, isn't it?
Oh yes. Yes.
And so there are many times then in the past that you've just kept this emotion down.
Well, what it is I just found a place I put it in a place where I can continue living my life, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to do that, because it is very painful. And you know, I before I walk out of my front door, I have my armor on just to make sure I take care of myself, because I don't know what's coming at me. It doesn't feel as bad as it used to, but I still have that thing that I do that just says take care, you know, and that's kind of heavy.
It's very. Now, Paul, you then have a lovely piece of music, and where did Zeeteah perform it for the video?
We recorded. We were lucky to have a little recording studio at home, but we ended up using a lot of still images of the world around us, and some amazing historic images. And I used them when I was putting the video together. I used them in a rather relaxed way, I think. We just found images that we really loved and used them. And then at the end, I was faced with the challenge of clearing the rights to all those images, getting permission to use them all from the image holders. And that was a couple of weeks of really hard work, of calling people all around the world and asking for their permissions. Some of the images we had to pay for licenses. Some of them people were very kind about and let us use. But and a couple of them, they said no.
Yeah.
There was one newspaper, the Arizona Star in America, who, as soon as they found out what the video was about, said no, because they don't believe in that kind of thing. So you forget there are a lot of people out there like that.
A lot of prejudice.
Yes.
And the cost of it. I mean, there was one that was over £5,000 they wanted.
Some people were asking, when they heard it was for a music video, a lot of people were asking for a lot of money, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's people don't realise what goes on behind the scenes. But even you're very experienced. But had you ever come across anything quite like it
You mean in terms of
in
licensing?
terms of getting the
Yes,
clearances?
unfortunately I have. I've done things like this before, and I've also licensed footage for use in films, and it can be very difficult. People are guard it very jealously. We were lucky that once people discovered what it was for, they opened up, and we were asked thousands of pounds to use some of the images at first. But that's because they thought we were going to use it in a music video. And we kind of explained it's not really a music video, because a music video is something that's designed to promote a commercial release. And this will never be a commercial release. The video and the song are one piece of work together. And it's like a little artwork in itself, really. And it stands alone, and we're not charging any money for it. It's not being used to promote anything. So once we explained that, I think people were much more relaxed about it.
That's very interesting. I mean, why have you made that decision? Because, as first I heard it, I thought, oh, this is special. And it is. Is it because of the subject matter?
For two reasons. Partly because we wouldn't have got permission to use a lot of the material in it if it was a commercial thing. It would have been impossible. And apart from anything else, we don't have permission for the people in the images. You don't need permission if it's non-commercial, but for commercial things, you need the permission. We could never track down most of those people. If people come to watch the video this evening, they'll see that. But also because of the subject matter, it's not something we wanted to make money out of.
Yes,
It's just
absolutely.
something we wanted to put out there and hope people will enjoy it and share it.
And it's not political. I mean, obviously, Black Lives Matter is something that has come to the fore, but it's not political, is it?
No, it's not.
No, I don't think it's politically. It's just we're just saying that this is happening, and let's take care. Let's do something about this. I think that's our shout out, if you like.
It's just a song about one person's feelings, about Zeeteah's feelings.
It is about my feelings, but I'm sure that there's a lot of other people there that are going to feel exactly the same.
But if people understand the feelings or feel the same way, then we hope that will mean something to them and they'll share it.
Yes. I mean, were you aware of how Zeeteah felt? I mean, was this all like these feelings? I mean, you obviously know her family, her sister, mother.
Question. I think
all of this bubbling under the surface.
But there's a much overused word these days. People say woke, and I'm not sure how woke Zeeteah was when I met her. I think it just since we've been together over the last few years, Zeeteah. These were all feelings I think Zeeteah probably had, but was repressing and keeping inside. And I think over the last few years, she's allowed herself to express them much more and to think about them.
Yeah, because I know what I want to say about them. I think at the time I didn't know what I wanted to say and wasn't sure about what was going on. I thought, you know what, I'm not going to say anything right now because I need to understand what to say, rather than I don't know about woke.
Like I said, it's an overused word. I think an awful lot of people have to come to terms with their feelings and acknowledge them, and then start to think about how to deal with them. In any area of life, your first reaction is to bury feelings very often that you don't like.
So what I was going to say was that the blog that I wrote 3 years ago with all of those Black influential English.
I just want to say what it was about. It was about a TV program.
Yeah, it was about a TV program called Black is the New Black, and I saw it at my daughter's place, or she was watching it, and I asked what it was, and I was so interested. And from then on, when I'd seen Naomi Campbell, Trevor McDonald, all of these people that we grew up with, had a special program for them to talk about their experiences as being Black in the UK. I was like, oh my God, finally, because there was never anything like that before on TV. And that's when I thought, I just felt a sigh of relief because, well, okay, I can say what I want to say now because
people are saying it.
Yes, people are saying it.
I don't know if you've seen that series.
No, I'm going to dig that one out.
They put it back on BBC iPlayer, so it's available. They took it off for a while. It's available now, perhaps because of what's going on at the moment.
Yes.
It's called Black is the New Black, and I really, really recommend it. It's just well-known Black people talking about their experience of race and how they've been treated in their lives.
Lenny Henry's one as well, and it's just fantastic, really. And then there's four episodes to it, but then that carries on with a lot of other historical programs.
Yes, I mean, there's some very interesting historical programs in the archives at the moment. You know, we're all actually immersing ourselves in it. And that is really...
Well, black is the new black, Charlie.
Talking about, you know, difficult times. Well, we've had very difficult times, haven't we? The COVID experience. But you've been riding high with the lockdown single that you produced, United We Stand. And last time I looked, I was going to look today to see how many thousands have actually tapped into your YouTube. I mean, it's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, up to 11,000 though, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
11,000. I mean, that's amazing. And you haven't done any particular publicity about it.
No, it's, well, I mean, we're here now, aren't we, guys? So thank you very much for giving. If anybody wants to see the video, let me just say that that has its own little web address too, its own URL, and that's lockdownsong.net. If anybody would like to watch the video for the song that's coming up.
And I was delighted to be able to play that one first, but I'm more so with You Don't Know, I must admit.